Alright guys, WrestleMania 29 just ended probably 15 minutes ago, so just got done watching some of the post-show that they had on their YouTube, their website, all that good stuff, but it's time to review the show now. I want to start off by saying I did enjoy this WrestleMania. I thought it was a pretty good WrestleMania. I think it was better than last year's, to be honest with you. I enjoyed last year's, but I do think that this was better than last year's. It was a very good WrestleMania. Not very, it was a good WrestleMania. It wasn't the best WrestleMania, but some good stuff happened on here, and I did enjoy it very much, some of the matches. But let's get started with what happened on the pre-show. Pretty much the pre-show was just... nothing really happened on the pre-show. There was a 5-minute match between The Miz and Wade Barrett, which was for the Intercontinental Championship. And The Miz defeated Wade Barrett for the title. So, I mean, there's that. I actually was not expecting that to happen. To be completely honest with you, I was hoping Wade Barrett would retain, which didn't happen. The Miz came out. The Miz won with the figure 4 leg lock, which he has a horrible version. He cannot lock that thing in that good. He has a terrible figure 4, but nonetheless, he still locked it in, and Barrett tapped. The match was like 5 minutes, if that, so there wasn't really much to talk about there. If you see me looking this way, I have a rundown of the show here, so I don't forget anything that happens on here, so I can review it in full. But after that, we had not much. Then to start off, we pretty much got right into a match, which I was expecting to be the World Heavyweight Championship match for the third or fourth time in a row. But I was surprised, and it was The Shield versus Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show, which is playing on the replay. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I got the replay playing here of WrestleMania. But The Shield vs. Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show was the first match, which I really did enjoy this match. I thought it was a very good match. I loved the outcome of this one. Not the post-match outcome, but the actual outcome of the matchup, which was The Shield being victorious over Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show. And it was Dean Ambrose who picked up the victory over Randy Orton. Very good match. The way it ended was... I loved the way it ended, though. It pretty much shows that the Shield will kind of sacrifice themselves to pick up the win. You had Randy Orton about to hit Dean Ambrose with the RKO, I believe it was. Yeah, about to hit him with the RKO or something like that. About to hit him with something. All of a sudden, Rollins climbs up, jumps up, and goes to dive onto Randy Orton. Gets hit with it in midair, RKO, takes him right down. There comes Reigns, spear to Orton, 1, 2, 3 from Ambrose. Picks up the victory. Then after the match... I hated after the match. During the match, near the very end there, Sheamus was in the ring. Big Show and Orton were on the, Big Show was on the apron. Sheamus was crawling towards Big Show to hot tag him in. Then Randy Orton climbed up onto the apron, tagged himself in on Sheamus before Sheamus could get to the Big Show. Big Show wasn't happy. Big Show could have stopped the pin and all that, because Big Show was just on the apron. So, technically, if you guys have seen my, WrestleMania 29 predictions, I kind of predicted that probably the way the match would end was with somehow one of the members of Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show kind of screwing them out of the victory, which wasn't the case, but it was the case at the same time. Like I said, Big Show could have broken up the pin instead of staying on the apron, so technically he did kind of screw them out of winning, but at the same time, it wasn't a very, what I thought was going to happen. Also, after the match, what I was hoping in my prediction video wouldn't happen is Big Show turned heel. Yep, 3 weeks after he just turned face. Big Show was he flips-flops between heel and face more. He changes fucking... I was hoping maybe Randy Orton would go heel or something. Randy Orton really needs to go heel. They don't have very many big heels in the company right now. We need some more heels, and I think Randy Orton would be perfect for that. But anyway, after that, what happened there? Just written here so I don't miss anything. Oh yeah, Big Show, like I said, Big Show turned heel. He punched, Sheamus and him were in a little Randy Orton and Big Show were in a little argument in the ring. Then, Sheamus got into the ring. Sheamus was kind of in the corner. Big Show knocked out Sheamus with the big punch. And then, the same thing happened to Orton. He kind of knocked Orton out, and then he left. Next up was... Alright, actually, next up what we had was a little promo for John Cena versus The Rock. My biggest problem with this WrestleMania is there was way too many like little commercials slash promo packages that weren't for the upcoming match, that were just kind of thrown in there just for the hell of it. I was not very happy with that, especially since you pay $60. I'm not expecting to get all these commercials that I got. But nonetheless, let's get into it. We had Mark Henry versus Ryback, which was pretty much my cooked dinner match. I got some chicken, put it in the toaster there, had to heat it up. So that was pretty much my cooked dinner, not pay attention, but it was a very boring match from what I saw. I caught the end. What happened at the end was Ryback had Mark Henry up for the shell shock. He couldn't get him. Mark Henry fell on top of Ryback. Mark Henry picked up the win, which was not what I predicted in my prediction video. I had predicted that Ryback would pick up the win, but maybe Mark Henry would be the one to do it. Oh yeah, by the way, let me say that Ryback did a post-match assault on Mark Henry, hitting him with the shell shock. So I was predicting it to be kind of the opposite, where Ryback picks up the victory, but Mark Henry is the one who hits a little post-match assault thing. Let me need to turn this volume down. It was a little loud. Anyway, but yeah, I was predicting it to be the roles completely reversed in this one. It was a very boring match. I didn't enjoy it. It could have been better, honestly, but it wasn't the worst match on the card. Actually, it was probably the worst match on the card. Anyway, next up, what did we have here? We had oh yeah, can't forget this. The announcers, they played with their little Mattel self-doing action figures. Best part of WrestleMania right there. No, not really, that part's not. But something funny in that that I liked was JBL was playing with a Sheamus, and I believe it was Sheamus and Rey Mysterio, and he was just pounding the crap out of Rey Mysterio. I wish I could have done this to Rey Mysterio, just beating the hell out of him. But it was a very, like I said, commercials taking up a lot of WrestleMania this year, which I didn't enjoy. But anyway, next up we had the WWE Tag Team title match, which was Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston taking on the current Tag Team Champions, Team Hell No, Kane and Daniel Bryan. This match, it was an alright match. I was kind of eating dinner during this match, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it as I was paying attention to my food. But anyway, it started off with, if you remember, at last WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan, he kissed AJ right before his match with Sheamus, and that's when he lost in 18 seconds. So, for Ziggler and AJ to mock him, Ziggler kissed AJ, which they did play it off as like it was going to be kind of the same thing. He did that, then he got kicked in the head by Daniel Bryan. A very close call, 1, 2, kick out by Ziggler. I was actually expecting them to do the type of upset victory, not the upset, but the very quick victory like that, but luckily they didn't, so. But, like I said, I wasn't really paying too much attention during this match, so I don't have much to say about it. Kane and Daniel Bryan came up and they were victorious in this one. I wish I would have paid more attention to this, because I can guarantee it was probably a pretty good match, but like I said, I was busy eating dinner, so I didn't really catch too much of it. I looked every once in a while and something was happening, but like I said, it wasn't too much of me actually paying attention, so I'm not going to talk about that much too much. I'm going to go on to the next one, which was Fandango, or Fandango! There we go. Versus Chris Jericho. I really did enjoy this match. People are probably giving this match, they probably weren't too impressed, but I truly did enjoy this match, and I'm glad Fandango did pick up the victory over Jericho. It wasn't like a straightforward, he hit him with a finisher and got the pin. Got the pin. He kind of, what happened was Jericho went for the lion salt, missed the lion salt, but still caught his legs off the lion salt, and and then went for the walls of Jericho, kind of couldn't get it in, and Fandango rolled him up 1-2-3, kind of an upset victory there, which I enjoyed because it shows it still doesn't make Jericho look weak, which is what they need to do, and it still makes Fandango look strong. But Fandango had a little special entrance. He had a whole bunch of dancers, and then he came out with his dancer. Jericho came out, all that good stuff. It was a good match. One of my favorite spots was, actually, what was the spot? I can't even think of the spot that was. There were some good spots in there, some good kicks, some good. Fandango sold pretty good. Fandango's a pretty good seller from what I can see. He sells pretty good. Nothing like Ziggler's selling, but still, he sells pretty good. He hit his leg drop. Went for the pin, couldn't get it. Then he went for the leg drop again. He completely missed this one. Jericho moved, and that looked like that got hurt. He just landed straight on his ass. Probably broke his tailbone on that one. That looked like it would have hurt. But Fandango won. Then we had, oh yeah, the worst part of WrestleMania right here. Diddy comes out, and he does his little musical performance. I hated this. I absolutely hated this. This was like, I pay to see wrestling here on WrestleMania. I don't care about these musical performances that you try to shove down my fucking throat, WWE. I pay to see wrestling. I expect to see wrestling, not commercials and your stupid fucking little fucking shit like this, your little musical promos from Diddy. And it was awful. It was just terrible. Anyway, then we go into the next match, which was the World Heavyweight title match, Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. Now, I was really hoping for a cash-in. We didn't get a cash-in. I was literally anticipating it. I was just so hoping that there was going to be a cash-in in this one from Ziggler, but that's not the case. But to start off, we had, Zeb Coulter do one of his little promos, all pro-American, anti every other race, every other country, every other everything, saying, you come to America, you speak English, you don't speak, Spanish, Chinese, all that stuff, you don't speak that, you gotta speak English when you come to America, so, and the match wasn't good, I didn't really enjoy it too much, they went back and forth for a little bit, Jack Swagger kept trying to make him tap out with the ankle lock, then you also had Del Rio trying to make him tap out with his cross arm breaker. Or arm bar, I don't know, I never know which is an arm breakers and arm bars. Is it the same? It's the cross arm breaker, I'm just going to say. But, he did. I do believe, right? Yes. He did do that. He did make him tap out. Swagger tapped out. Del Rio won. Which this is when I was thinking Ziggler was really going to cash in because he was just in the ring. Alberto Del Rio was in the ring for like a good 5 minutes or so. Really, really anticipating a cash in. There was "We Want Ziggler" chants. Not right then, I don't know, I don't remember too much, but during the match I remember there was "We Want Ziggler" chants, so. Then we also had, next one was CM Punk versus The Undertaker. Hands down, match of the night, no doubt about it. Best match of the night. Such an amazing fucking match. It should have been way later in the card. It should have been main event, to be honest, but of course the WWE Championship match was going to be main event because it has Cena and Rock, but it should have been way later in the card, in my opinion. It should have been way later. That's all I'm going to say about this one, but oh god, what an amazing match. Living Color was there, performed Cult of Personality for CM Punk. Now, earlier when I said I didn't like musical performances, my wrestling events, but this is completely different. They were performing his entrance. It wasn't just a random musical performance in the middle of the show for no purpose whatsoever. It was Living Color performing Cult of Personality live, and god, it was fucking amazing. It was great. Let's see, we had Heyman come out with them too, which I wasn't too sure. I was almost certain that Heyman was going to be out for both of them, both Brock and Punk, which he was, so he did work double duty. Heyman had the urn, of course. Then we had, You also had, then Undertaker came out with a long entrance, but nothing wrong with that. I think it was about 5 or 6 minutes, if not longer. You had Punk on the outside when Undertaker was in the ring doing his little stuff, just tossing the urn about, just screwing around with it for fun. The match started off with a big slap from Punk right to Taker. That slap, you could hear that sound. That sounded like it hurt. That was a nice slap right there. Then Punk just unloaded. Taker comes out of the corner. They pretty much brawled for a good bit of the match. Taker just tossed him to the outside, beat the crap out of him on the outside, took the Spanish announce table stuff off. Didn't come into play yet. Taker gets Punk back into the ring. He hit his leg drop from when had Punk leaning halfway off the apron, hit his leg drop. Let's see. Taker climbs up the ropes. He goes for the old school. Punk breaks it with a nice arm drag right off the top, pulling him off. Which then what happens is Punk then goes for old school. Punk hits old school. Just reading this so I don't really miss much of the match. So bear with me here. Let's see. Punk dropkicks Taker out of the ring. Just a whole bunch of they battled a lot. They brawled. It was a back and forth match for a little bit too. Very great match. Fucking amazing. If you have not watched WrestleMania and there's one match to watch, it's this one. Bar none, best match on the card. Hands down, greatest match on the card. Greatest match in the past few WrestleManias, in my opinion. Such a good match. We had, lots of near falls, lots of finisher. Well, not lots of finishers, I wouldn't say, but, a good amount of going for them. Lots of reversing. So, then we also had, right here, one of the best parts of the match. You had Undertaker go for the last ride through to the announce table, the Spanish announce table that he took all the cover and all the monitors out of earlier. He went for the last ride. Punk, he had him up. He dropped down the back, pushed Taker, got Taker onto the table, climbed the top, and he went for the elbow drop from the top to the table. The fucking Spanish announce table doesn't break. What the fuck is up with that? The Spanish announce table doesn't break on an elbow drop from the top rope. That looked like that had to fucking hurt. You could tell that it had to hurt. But they went back into the ring. Taker made it just into the ring right before the 10 count too, so he was lucky on that one. He gets Punk in Hell's Gate after that. Punk's not going to tap out, but still, I was just sitting here. Come on, fucking get out of it, Punk. Fucking get out of it. I was ranting and I was cheering and I was jumping around, like a madman. If my neighbors hear me, they'll think I'm fucking a psychopath or something, so I hope they don't hear me, but no one else is here, so I'm lucky I can scream as loud as I like without having to worry about waking anybody up. But Punk then fights it off, and he then gets his kind of ice in, which, he doesn't, Undertaker doesn't tap out, of course. Sits up, stares at Punk. Taker breaks the hold, gets to his feet. Taker then turns into a chokeslam. Punk counters it. Punk barely hits the GTS. Taker nails the tombstone now. Here's when Taker hit the tombstone, but Punk kicks out right before 3. Very close call. I wasn't sure. I was literally on the ground, fucking smashing my hand, fucking kick out, all that shit. Really hoping that he could kick out. And he did, luckily, because I did not want the match to end. And I also didn't want Taker to win. But the ref gets taken down. The ref gets knocked out, which is when I really thought Punk was going to be victorious in this one. What happens? I know Taker used Punk used the urn. Yeah, Punk grabs the urn, nails Taker in the head. Punk mocks Taker's signature pose. But yet again, Taker kicks out. Taker kicks out again. Taker fights out of the GTS. CM Punk counters the tombstone. Punk goes for TGS again, but it's blocked. Taker turns it into a tombstone and nailed it. This is right when I knew the match was fucking over here. I knew it was over, but I was just fucking hoping. I was hoping, come on, fucking get out of it. Punk, come on, get out. Punk, no. And then 21-0. I was wrong. I was always saying there's no way Punk's gonna lose this. Punk has this one in the bag, but that is not the case. 21-0, which I am kind of confused about why Punk even accepted this match, because I remember in an interview, maybe a year or so, a while back, Punk was asked if he would ever want to take on the streak, and he said no, because I don't want to be in a match where you all know that the outcome is predetermined with Undertaker going to be winning. So I mean, yet he still accepted the match where the outcome was pretty much known, and I don't know, hypocrite much? Kind of a sellout there, but I still fucking love Punk. I'm going to see what happens this on Monday night. Where do they go from here with Punk? Punk's now lost, 3 pay-per-views in a row? Like 4 or 5 big matches, 4 big matches in a row. So, I mean, Punk's on a real losing streak now. So we'll have to see where this goes on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, or pretty much tonight, I guess, seeing as it's probably, by the time you're watching this, it's already tomorrow, it's already Monday. But then, you know, you have the 21-0 on the big screen. We get another promo of tonight's main event. They played so many promos for Rock and Cena, too. So many promos for it during the show. Then we had No Holds Barred, Triple H's career on the line, Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. Triple H had Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar had Heyman. I enjoyed the match, but it was nothing spectacular. It was a good match, don't get me wrong, but following Punk and Taker, it just didn't hold up, which is why I'm saying this should have went on before Punk and Taker, and then Punk and Taker before the main event, but that wasn't the case, and they put this one on after. But anyway, I don't understand what they did with the entrances, though. They had Shawn come out first, then Brock, then Triple H. Why have Shawn come out first, not with Triple H, or after Triple H, or before Triple H, before Brock? I just didn't understand why they did that. I'm just still kind of confused. But anyway, you still had Triple H come out. Let's see. They brawled for a good bit. They really brawled for a good bit during the first little bit of the match. All around the ringside area, taking them into the barrier, into the announce table, throwing them into it, not really breaking it at this point. They used some chairs. Yeah, Lesnar had a chair. Triple H clotheslines him. More chair shots are blocked. All that good stuff. Heyman then grabs the chair from the ring before Triple H can grab it. Pretty much he plays keep away with Triple H. So a lot of stuff happens. The steel steps are coming to play early by getting him sent into it. Then the first real move of the match, Lesnar hits a big belly-to-belly right onto the floor, right out onto the floor there, right to Triple H, which looked like it had to have hurt a little bit. Then we had, what was it? Lesnar grabs I think it was a suplex through the Spanish announce table, which didn't break previously, but it broke now. And then he also, a little bit later, pretty much right after, he kind of picked him up, and I believe he did another belly-to-belly suplex right onto the broken down table. Triple H kind of landed on the back of his head, so that wasn't good for him. Gets him into the ring. Lesnar hits him with a clothesline when he gets him into the ring. Big 2 count. HHH kicks out, of course. Triple H, not done yet. We had some more 2 counts in here. The match didn't really get good until near the end. Didn't really get good until the end here. The whole match, I thought it was kind of, it could have been a lot better. They could have done a lot more with it. It was kind of too similar to their SummerSlam match, in my opinion. A lot of the stuff was kind of very reminiscent of the SummerSlam match, so It kind of was nothing too new. It was a decent match nonetheless, but they could have done a lot more with it. You had, at one point, HBK comes in to hit the Sweet Chin Music on Lesnar. Lesnar catches it and drops HBK with the F5. But right after that, Triple H hits the pedigree, which Brock kind of botched it the first time. He kind of dropped to his knees. Then they had to redo it. But, yeah, he does that. Hits him. Only a 2, though, of course, because the match still has a bit more left. We get the sledgehammer in. Lesnar ducks a sledgehammer shot. HHH hits him with a... He hits Triple H with an F5. HHH doesn't hit him with anything. Triple H gets hit with an F5. Triple H kicks out again. Lesnar is somehow bleeding from his mouth now. He had a little... Not very bad. Not much at all. But a little bit. They had some more chair shots, you know. A little bit of chair shots. Whips into the steps. Then Lesnar throws the step, hits Triple H with the one set of steps, the smaller set of steps, grabs the bigger set of steps, throws those in the ring. Triple H gets in the ring. Then he hits him with the bigger set of steps. Honestly, I was really hoping for some blood in this match. I personally think that blood isn't really needed. But when something like this, like a feud like this, blood really adds to it, in my opinion. No, it really makes it seem more realistic, and it just makes the match seem, you know, much more brutal and all that stuff, which I really think that this match could have used that, but it didn't happen. So, we had the Kimura lock. The Kimura, again, locked in. Triple H had it on his arm. Lesnar didn't want to let go. What happened was, I know something with HBK happens eventually. I'm not too sure what. Like I said, this match wasn't my favorite match of the night. But Triple H actually locked in the Kimura lock quite a bit. He had it in him. But Triple H then, you know, hits it off. All that good stuff. What happened here? I'm just trying to read here because I don't want to miss anything. Triple H uses the Kimura on Lesnar now. Lesnar looks to be tapping out. Heyman, yes, I forgot the Heyman part. Heyman comes in. Heyman grabs a chair, turns around to a Sweet Chin Music. So pretty much, Shawn Michaels got up out of nowhere. Pretty much, Shawn Michaels was still down from the F5, like 2 minutes, literally 10 seconds before this, I should say. Hops right into the ring, right as it's going on. Sweet Chin Music takes him down, and takes out Heyman. Then the Kimura lock gets locked back in by Triple H onto Brock Lesnar. Once again, Lesnar picks him up, drops him onto the steps. Then the next time he did that, Triple H hits him with a DDT onto the steps, taking him out. And then right after that, he hits him in the head with the sledgehammer. Doesn't go for the pin yet. Picks him up. Pedigree right onto the steps. Lesnar's done. 1, 2, 3. Triple H is victorious. And his career is still intact. Which, even though he cares so much about his career, we won't see him wrestle for another year probably. So, I mean, there's that. But, Lesnar should really learn about bringing those damn steps into the ring. When he brought him in against Cena, he lost that match. Brings him in against Triple H, he loses that match. So, I mean, he really shouldn't be using those steps. He has very bad luck with those things. Then we see the highlights from the Hall of Fame. We have all the Hall of Fame inductees out there, you know. You have Mick Foley, Booker T, Trish Stratus, Bob Backlund, Donald Trump, and Bruno Sammartino all out on the stage. All get their little wave into the crowd and all that good stuff. And then it's time for the main event, which the 8-man tag match, the Tons of Funk versus the Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls versus Road Scholars and the Bell Twins, got completely pushed off the card. The weirdest thing about this was there was no promo before the Rock and Cena match. All of a sudden, they just came out to their entrances, which was just kind of a strange feeling because every big match always has like entrances, the promo, but I guess they played all the promos throughout the show instead of saving one for the end. And they had no special entrances either. They were just regular entrances. It was just kind of strange to see. It's kind of weird, though. The only person to get a special entrance this year is Punk, and he lost his match. So, I mean, there's that. But they came out, and Cena got booed. Oh, man, Cena did get booed. Honestly, I was hoping Rock would have got booed, too. That's not the case. In this match, I was disappointed in this match, was I? This match was so boring. The beginning was pretty much rest hold after rest hold, and then it turned into finisher after 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 fucking finisher. You had, there was nothing great that happened during this match. It was just, alright, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a good match. It was not a fucking good match. This match was pretty ass. It was just pretty much, finisher after finisher, like I said. At one point you had, in last year's WrestleMania, Cena lost after trying to do the People's Elbow. So one point in this match, when Rock was in control, Rock went for the five-knuckle shuffle, and Cena did what Rock did last year, got up, hit him with his finisher, but it was only two. Then they also had a moment when Cena went for the People's Elbow again, mocked the Rock, because Rock kind of got up again, was ready for the Rock bottom, but Cena was holding on to the ropes and didn't go back for the second run around, so he kind of got in luck there. So, I mean, there's that. The Rock still managed to get him up. Cena goes for the AA, but Rock counters and hits a Rock bottom to another close two. There was a lot of close counts in this match, but close calls, but we knew who was going to win this one, so it was never any signs of, oh yeah, Rock's going to come out victorious. There was more reversals, more reversing some AAs, more reversing Rock bottoms, and then Cena blocks the Rock bottom and nails the AA for the win. It was just such a boring match. All it was finisher after finisher. This match did not feel like the ending of a pay-per-view. And then all they did was pretty much the crowd kind of booed a little bit. He got the title. And then pretty much they stared each other down for a second. Handshake into a little embracing hug. Crowd booed. Rockstar. And then Cena left the ring. And Rock was just in the ring. And Rock's music started playing. Yeah, the loser is the one that you see in the ring with his music playing. Even though he goes out, hugs his family, goes up the ramp, and does a little salute with Cena. And then he goes to the back, and Cena holds up the WWE Championship on the ramp. So nothing special really happened here. I'm glad, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad Cena won the title. I hate Cena, but at least the man shows up at house shows, shows up every week on Raw, wrestles at house shows, wrestles on Raw, doesn't just wrestle on pay-per-views, actually appears on the shows where he works. He doesn't just come every once in a while, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, for the week before the pay-per-view, just to promote it a little bit. No. This man actually shows up week in, week out. As I've said plenty of times before, either on here, through any other way to people I know, anything, the man actually shows up week in, week out. He busts his ass. He hasn't had time off in the longest time. I don't like him, but at least he deserves the championship more than The Rock does. So that happened. But like I said, I would give this WrestleMania 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. It wasn't a bad WrestleMania. It wasn't the greatest WrestleMania. But Undertaker and CM Punk stole the show. Their match was so fucking good. I loved every second of it. That's the only match I really got into. I was literally jumping around, jumping up and down when CM Punk was about to win. Fucking getting pissed, just stomping my feet, stomping my hands on the ground like a fucking madman when Undertaker was about to win, when Undertaker did win. That's the only match I really did get into, but Very good match. We'll have to see what happens on Raw. I'm really looking forward to Raw now. I'm always looking forward to the Raw after a pay-per-view, but especially after WrestleMania. Pretty much, this is the end of the wrestling year. WrestleMania is the end of the wrestling year, and we start anew pretty much tomorrow night. We got to see what's going to happen. What's going to happen going in? Who's going to be the new #1 contender for the WWE Championship going into Extreme Rules? Is The Rock going to be there tomorrow night? What's The Rock going to say? Is he going to, when's he going to use his rematch? Because, I mean, unless The Rock doesn't decide to use his rematch, which would be fucking stupid, because the man is entitled to a rematch. It's in his contract. It's in the contract, You always get a rematch clause when you lose your title, but unless the stipulation says different, which it did not. So is he going to use it at the next pay-per-view? Which begs the question, why they... see, this is the one thing. When is he going to use it? Is he going to, decide, I'm going to use my Who knows? I don't know what he's going to do with that, because he does have a rematch clause, so we're going to have to see what happens then tomorrow night. We also got to see what happens with Punk tomorrow night. That's what I'm really looking forward to, Punk, because like I said earlier, when I was talking about their match, probably quite a while ago now, seeing as this video has been going on for 30 minutes, 36 minutes, but he's been losing as of late a lot. He's lost the past, really major matches, 5 major matches in a row now, or so, 4 major matches in a row, because he lost Royal Rumble, then he lost Elimination Chamber. Alright, it's been 4, yeah, because then he lost the match with Cena on Raw, and then he lost this one. So, 4 matches in a row, he's really lost major. Of course, he won the Fatal 4-Way match and all, but still, he's lost a lot of matches recently that are big-time matches, so we'll see what they do with CM Punk from here. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Raw tomorrow night, or tonight, depending on when you are watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania. Let me hear what you have to say about WrestleMania down in the comments. What would you rate the show? What do you think about the matches? If you agree with anything, if you agree with what I said, if you disagree with what I said, and if you have any questions for me about WrestleMania that, I didn't go over somehow in this review, this almost 40-minute review, or just anything else you want to say, leave a comment down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Well, I think I'm going to go take some sleep and take some sleep. I think I'm going to go get some sleep now. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.